Alright, are you guys ready to get back to work on the Monte Carlo? Because I know I am. We made a ton of progress on James Brown. Still waiting on a few parts for that. Got the Firebird dropped off at Scott's yesterday. So now seems like a great time to get back to work on the Monte Carlo for a minute. So I've been going back and forth for months on what engine I wanted to put in this car. I was torn between old school small block because there's already so many LSs on the channel. I don't feel that way. I love LSs. But I understand that it would be nice for the channel to have some variation. We got a turbo LS in the RX-7. The Firebird's getting turbo LS. Jack Black still has the big block, which is pretty rad. So my plan was to put together this little 350, little mild 350, making, I don't know, mid 300s horsepower. It would be fun. But then I had all this leftover, I don't know if you guys can see it. I had all this leftover LS swap harness, and I've got computers and stuff. And I've got that spare 6.0 right there. That I was really thinking maybe I should just drop the 6.0 in it. Make it, you know, pretty fun daily. Because that is the plan for this car, is I want to be able to throw the wife and kids in it and then just take off and cruise anywhere. It's not going to have air conditioning because, you know, we're in Michigan. We can just roll the windows down. And I'll probably put a radio back in it at some point, maybe. I don't know. So basically the only thing I was really concerned with was drivability. And then a few nights ago, this guy, Joe, awesome guy, messaged me on Instagram and he was like, hey, I got this 383 that I pulled out of my C10. I've been thinking about getting rid of it. Are you interested? And this is when he saw the post for ROWDY, so he's like, I'd do a trade and some cash for the truck. And I ended up trading the truck for the Firebird. So then I was like, well, if you're interested, I've got this sweet Roadmaster wagon. And we ended up working a deal out. So one, I freed up a little bit of space in the driveway, so Jess can't be mad at me about all the cars anymore. Two, I've got this sweet 383. It has forged internals, blueprint heads, air gap intake. You know, it's basically ready to drop in. Schoenfeld headers that might be able to make fit the G-body. And then all this other stuff that was sitting on the front of the car here. Has a nice MSD distributor, HEI style, so I'll be able to basically just drop it in and wire it up. Nice MSD cap, ceramic wires, or ceramic boots, Power Master starter. And the thing that's nice for me, because I'm a total idiot with carburetors apparently, is this is the carb that was on it. It's already jetted for the engine and everything, so basically I should be able to just plop it on there and the thing's turnkey. So basically what that means is we're gonna have a 383 Monte Carlo SS on the channel. As much as I really didn't want to get rid of the wagon because that thing was an absolute blast to drive, it mostly came down to just what has the most benefit, keeping the wagon or getting the 383 and getting the Monte Carlo running. Obviously, I'm sure to you guys it seems like an obvious choice. So that's what we did. I'm sure if I really hustled, I could get the engine in here and get it fired up today. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'm at least going to get it stabbed in here and maybe start wiring it up a little bit, but I want to go through and get some sheathing and stuff to cover all the wiring and just, I want to make it look presentable. I should actually go get some stuff and paint the firewall while it's all apart, because I do have some grommets to cover all these, so that's not a big deal. I might see if I have some black actually. Alright, I did find some black. It's not really what I was hoping to find. I mean, at least it's high temp, so that'll be cool, but it's wrinkle, so that's, we'll see how it turns out. At least it'll get the firewall all one color. Alright, is it great? No. Is it better? Probably not. Do I feel like I accomplished something? Sure. And since I'm sure somebody's going to ask, I didn't pull the wiring off the firewall because I'm going to put sheathing on it anyway, so a little bit of overspray didn't really affect me as long as I could get to everywhere on the firewall. So with that, I think I'm going to let it tack up for a second. I was trying to stay pretty far away so that I didn't get any runs, and that's why I heated this up too, so that it would adhere a little bit better. And there's a couple runs in it. I don't know how well you guys can see on camera, but there's like a small section through here that's just barely wanting to, and then like a couple little ones over there. Not a huge deal, just freaking really fucking pisses me off though. All right, so before I take everything off this so I can get the lift plate back on and start setting it in the car, let's talk a little bit about it. So it is a 383. Like I said, it does have blueprint heads. They are 195cc intake runners, 64cc chambers, and with, I'm pretty sure you said flat top pistons, it puts the compression in the neighborhood of 10.5 to 11 to 1, which is still pump gas friendly, which is awesome, because this thing will probably end up being on 93, which isn't that awesome because that's expensive. And then it does have the gold Holley 750. Like I said, it should be jetted for all this. It does have the Edelbrock air gap intake, dual plane, which is good for street. The MSD distributor and cap and plug wires and all that stuff. Schoenfeld headers. SFI balancer and flex plate, which is sweet. And then it does have a crane cam. Oh, and 1.6 ratio roller rockers. And the cam is 495 510 lift with a stock rocker, 1.5. So whatever it is with 1.6, I'll put on the screen here. And it is 246, 254 duration on a 112 LSA. So with that lobe separation angle and that leftover plate kit that we got from Jack Black's small block, you think of what I'm thinking? We're not going to spray it right away though, and if we do, it'll probably be like a 150 shot, just to have a little bit of fun with. So let's get this thing apart and start dropping it in the car. Alright, got the engine sitting in place. There's only 3 tranny bolts in. I don't remember if the tranny is actually bolted to the mount or not, to the cross member. I don't think it is, just because the engine looks like it's twisted a little bit. But I think now I'm going to probably pull the plugs and that temperature sensor out and see about fitting some headers, see if those Schoenfelds fit, which I think they will, because if you look at the bends right there, and then these are the ones that I had fitting in the car, they're basically the same. Like, there's some minor differences, like this pipe versus that one. This one stays up a whole lot higher. But aside from that, they're basically the same, so I think they'll fit. I hear him. I thought it was you. Just in time. Nice. Just in time. Trying to get the distributor in and it's not lining up with the oil pump gear. The 383 is in there, just sitting in place. Everything's kind of mocked up because this header over here, we bashed the heck out of it and it's still touching that lower A-arm mount. And then still need a throttle cable bracket. Plugs aren't in it. Starter's not in it. But it looks good. Definitely gonna need a cowl hood.
Mm-hmm.
This side fits really well.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear this thing run. All right, so I think that's probably about as far as we're gonna make it in today's video. Man, it looks so good in there. Definitely gonna need a cowl hood for it. I'm so excited about this car again. I love this thing, man. Hopefully in one of the next videos we'll get this thing fired up and hear it come to life, but I just didn't want to rush it together for a video and then have to go back and fix some things, so I'm just gonna wait and try and get the engine together right the first time. Plus, I don't know where my freaking motor mount bolts went. I had some in there just to hold it in place, but I don't know where the actual bolts are, so I gotta find those. But one more time, big shout out to Joe, who I got the engine from. The thing looks awesome in here. I can't wait to hear it. He said that he thinks it's making, he never had his truck, because it wasn't a C10, he never had his truck at the track, so he never got a time with it. But he said he thinks it's probably in like the 450 range, which I was actually super pumped to hear, because I didn't, if he had said that he thought the engine was making like 600 horsepower, I would have been like, all right, that's kind of bullshit. Like, it's possible, but it's kind of probably bullshit. So him saying 450, being kind of modest about it, that actually puts a little bit more faith in the engine and everything for me, at least. Because, like I said, if he had said 600, I'd have been kind of like, well, I don't know. It's possible, but eh. So the 450 just seems much more trustworthy. And like I said, this thing does have forged internals, so it will be seeing some spray at some point. But that is going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.